Hello everyone, my name is David and I am a software engineer at Meta. I am presenting together with my colleague Sergey, who is going to introduce himself later on. We are excited to talk to you about how SLO reviews are done at Meta with our reliability tracking tool called Slick. In this talk, we'll give a brief introduction of Slick, along with some features that we built to encourage an SLO-focused culture at Meta. The main focus of the talk is of course going to be the new SLO review tooling that we built in Slick, and how we are planning to evolve this further in the future. Let's start with a brief overview of Slick. Slick is our SLO management platform at Meta. Service owners onboard to Slick by writing a config file with their SLOs. Slick then auto-generates a dashboard that shows the performance against these SLOs. Slick provides many integrations, such as alerting or incident management. We were very successful with onboarding services to Slick and achieved over 80% coverage among the on-calls that maintain our critical services at the company. To learn more about Slick, please watch our 2021 SLO Conf talk titled SLOs at Facebook, which was done by our teammate Poston. Our team has also done talks at the AtScale conference series, which you can find on the AtScale conference's website. In the first half of 2022, we conducted an internal survey at Meta to feed into the development of an SLO adoption strategy and to understand the gaps in our SLO tooling. A significant amount of responders indicated that they struggle to get value out of SLOs. For example, they do not regularly look at the dashboards and they do not have alerts. This was in line with what we saw in our internal usage metrics for Slick. At that point, we really wanted to answer the question, how can we increase the value that SLOs provide to teams? I'll go over some of the features that we had previously built to help socialize SLOs across Meta, and explain why these didn't quite solve the problem on their own. Slick provides periodic reports on Workplace. Workplace is a business communication platform from Meta that we also use internally at the company. These periodic reports help foster interesting discussions about SLOs. At Meta, we have an on-call summary tool that facilitates context sharing and handover between subsequent on-calls in a rotation. Slick SLO reports are integrated with these on-call summaries, encouraging on-calls to consider SLOs as part of their on-call shifts. Slick also has integrations with the standard alerting infrastructure at the company, enabling teams to set up alerts on their SLIs. These alerts can notify engineers through a variety of channels, such as workplace posts. The alerts can be annotated in a structured format to attach extra metadata to the alert. Annotations can be created manually or through automation. Slick then consumes these annotations to build actionable insights for service owners about their SLOs. Slick can answer questions like, what were the most common root causes that contributed to SLO violations? We can show the frequency and the duration of the annotations in Slick. Alright, so we already had all of these features to help socialize SLOs, but the problem was that there was no structured workflow around them. When should teams be looking at these insights? Or in the case of the Slick reports I've shown previously, what exactly should teams do if an SLO was violated? Sergey, can you help answer how we solve the problem of these unclear workflows?
Thanks, David. Hello, everyone. My name is Sergey, and I'm a software engineer on SLO monitoring infrastructure team at Meta. As a response to the problems outlined by my colleague David, we introduced an SLO review tool. This tool brings all of the pieces together and provides a single and concise user experience for conducting SLO reviews at the company. In the following slides, I'm going to talk about how do we help teams to facilitate SLO reviews and what is the value teams are getting out of it. So, the SLO review journey begins with a periodic report post. This post is published to a workplace group at the end of each SLO period. This post contains the high-level overview of SLI performance in a given period, and this is exactly the same report post we had before, besides one additional link to go to the SLO review page. On the SLO review page, we try to consolidate all of the information users need in order to do SLO review. For example, on this slide, you can see the comparison of SLO scores for an active period with historical ones. This could be useful to identify trends and, for example, focus on SLIs with violation first. We also provide users with a deep dives, allowing to capture issues on a more granular level. This information is consumed by Insights Engine Further and represented as a distribution of SLO violation factors. For example, on this slide, you can see that service dependency issue was one of the most common issues in a given period. The question is, what should we do with all of this information? We believe that SLO review should be actionable, and thus we keep reviews conducted with follow-ups. On this slide, you can see how did we use Insights to create a few follow-up tasks. These tasks will help us to prevent similar SLO regression patterns in future. When we reviewed all of the SLOs and created follow-up tasks, we have an option to publish the summary post. This post outlines the main decision and discussions made during the review. Also, it provides a visibility to customers about SLO violations and helps us to establish and facilitate conversations. What does it mean to customers? As a result of team using SLO reviews on Slick, we've seen them improving their SLIs, better SLO conversations, and improved reliability in the long term. This slide shows how one of the meta services managed to improve their SLO scores after the team started using the tool. What are the next steps? We want to support wider scope SLO reviews. We discovered this new use case while working with pilot customers, and we believe that input from these reviews could be useful for planning and prioritization discussions. We also want to improve the insights. For example, we want to make it easier to create annotations and infer SLO quality values by correlating it with incidents. The last, but not least, we want to bring incident reviews closer to SLO reviews. Meta historically had a strong incident review culture, and we want SLO information to be used as one of the main inputs for incident reviews in allowing us to measure incident impact based on SLOs. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you everyone, and please feel free to reach out to us in Slack if you have any questions.